and the line was crossed forever. And that entire night, I spent looking out my blinds, just like the ones behind me. Every car that drove by, I thought it was the cops. Every time I seen headlights against the wall, you know how it shines through the windows, I thought it was the cops. Every time I heard a sound, I thought it was the cops. I thought I was going to prison that night. I thought it was done, over with, paranoia, anxiety, all that. It was at an all-time high. I had never been in this situation. And this is the moment I realized that I really didn't want to be in the streets. Like, I'm not about that life. But it was too late. And that's what happens to so many kids, teenagers between 16 to 19 right there. Man, they don't recognize until it's too late. I went from somebody that, yeah, he got in trouble in high school, but then he got an opportunity to get in the Air Force, but he messed that up. And now I made things worse. I could have turned it around. I didn't. So as I'm dealing with paranoia, the next day I remember my cousin called me. He's like, "Yo, what up? You good?" I was like, "Man, I'm all right. You know, I'm trying to play tough." I wasn't good, man. I couldn't wait to talk to him, but I wouldn't talk to him over the phone. I was like, "Man, I'm about to pull up now." I pulled up to his apartment, and I'll never forget it, man. I'll never forget this day. It was crazy. He told me we was gonna split four ways. I believed that. You know what I'm saying? He told me there was enough money to handle the business, do whatever he needed to do, and we was all gonna be good. I believed that. Let me tell you, man. He called me. I got in his apartment. We walked in his kitchen. Me, him, our two co-defendants. Pulled the money out. By the time he split that, I might have had 2,000. Somebody was asking a number. I might have had 2,000. I can't even remember the exact number. You feel me? $2,000? Really? I risked my life. I'm out here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm being loyal to my cousin, but in hindsight, I look back, 2,000. That's work. That's a 9 to 5, easy. He gave me the money. I was mad. In my mind, I thought I was gonna get like 10,000, 20,000. I thought it was a big heist, but I should have known because the place that we hit, it wasn't built for that. There was no way there was gonna be that amount of money in there. But again, I'm a 19-year-old kid that's really not about that life. Dabbled in it, but not to this level, and let somebody that really wasn't in it lead them into a path of destruction. I'm gonna say influence for those that say I made my own choice, because I did. Influence. Everybody got their money. They parted ways. Our two co-defendants, they got paranoid. They immediately shot down to Florida. And what's crazy is, before they went down there to Florida, one of them had moved in with my cousin and his baby mom, and the baby too. And the cops got called by the neighbors because of a loud noise complaint. They were hearing music and the baby crying. So when the cops come and knock on the door, they hear or they smell smoky cabbage. All right. So now they smell that, gives them a reason to enter the dwelling, suspicion or whatever it is, legal substance. When they go in there and they're searching the apartment, my cousin and them boys kept the money bag. The money bag was on top of the kitchen cupboard. No, I was not there. I didn't know they had it. I found this out after the fact. This was what caused our co-defendants to run to Florida, because the detectives and all that, or the cops that came there, they didn't lock anybody up. They just found it to be suspicious. They didn't find any cabbage, anything like it. They smelt it. They handled the complaint. That was it. But they were like, why the heck would these people have a money bag, a blue money bag from a business? Mind you, them three had been hitting other spots I did not know about. This is why my cousin is in the situation he's in now. When they go to Florida, our two co-defendants, they ended up getting hit with a solicitation charge. They outside of a store, homeless. They don't have nowhere to stay. They trying to figure it out. They're just on the run because they don't want to be in Virginia and get locked up. They're scared. They end up getting locked up on something petty anyways and extradited back to Virginia. They immediately started cooperating. My cousin, he tried to rob a Chinese restaurant. I can't make this up. This is all public record, by the way. And when he went to go try to rob the Chinese restaurant, They beat him and they hogtied him, and the detectives took a picture of it. I seen the picture when the detectives came to my grandmother's house, Christmas Eve, 2002, to tell me this. They said, Mr. Willers, your future co-defendants have already been arrested. They're already talking. Your cousin is right here. They held up a picture, literally, of my cousin, hog-tied. They beat him in that restaurant where he tried to rob. He didn't even have a weapon. Never had a weapon. Anything he's been doing. He said, look at your cousin, man. He said, don't let nothing like this happen to you. I said, oh, you don't got to worry about that from me. He said, matter of fact, when you run, make sure you go somewhere warm so when we get you, we can take a vacation. I looked at him. I said, all right, man, whatever you say. Close the door. Try to act like my life was normal. There was a part of me in denial, believing for some reason there was still a chance I could get out of this. And no, I wasn't talking about cooperating. We'll talk more about that later. About a week or two went by, and I thought I was in the good. But what you guys need to know is courtrooms everywhere across America, they have something called grand jury indictments. And essentially, that's where they hold court without people in the courtroom. And they indict people. They issue indictments. And eventually, my name came up because of my co-defendants cooperating. And eventually, I found out my cousin was cooperating, too. When my indictment came up, of course, I didn't know. I was working at Walmart, tire and lube, changing tires. My mother worked there as a store manager. I was giving her a ride home one day after work. I was smoking a cigarette at Newport. She looked at me. She said, you got to stop smoking. I said, I will soon. We're on our way home to my grandma's house. And when we get there, we pull in the driveway. My grandma comes out. And she's like, oh, my God. She said, what did you do? I said, what are you talking about? She's like, the cops just left. The detectives just left. They tore up my house. They were looking for you. My heart sank. I knew this was the beginning of the end. I knew I had crossed the line I couldn't uncross. And I looked at my mom, and I just told her, let's go. I need you to take me to the police department. And a lot of y'all saying, like, dang, you turned yourself in. Why would you do that? I didn't want to run. I was tired of paranoia. It weighed on me, and I was ready to face whatever I needed to face. So we stopped at 7-Eleven. On the way there, I made a call to my then girlfriend at the time. I remember making a joke to my mom. I said, see, this is the last time I'm smoking a cigarette for a while. You ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm going to quit, I promise you. She didn't even know what I meant by that. We got to the police station, and I walked up to the desk, and I said, hey, my name is Chris Willers, and you guys were at my grandmother's looking for me. You tore up her house. I think y'all want me for something. Yeah, and that was the beginning of jail time, essentially.